Hello everyone, welcome you all. Let's start our discussion and solve question paper of CUCT 2021. In the previous videos, we have solved up to question number 45. So in this video, we will start from question number 46. Question number 46. The Laplace equation in CGS Gaussian system is. We know Laplace equation is del square V equals to 0. So Laplace equation in CGS Gaussian system is this. So your correct option is option 4. But if you check option 2, 1, 2 and 3 are given with Poisson's equation. So let us discuss about that Poisson's equation. From differential form of Gauss law, we know div of E equals to rho by epsilon naught. Now if we will use E equals to minus grad of V, then this equation will be del square V equals to minus rho by epsilon naught. Now this is the Poisson's equation in SI unit. This is Poisson's equation. Now to express this Poisson's equation in CGS unit, we have to replace epsilon naught with 1 by 4 pi. So del square V equals to minus 4 pi rho. This is the Poisson's equation in CGS unit. Okay, you should remember this. And you must revise how to express Maxwell equation in CGS unit. Question number 47. If wave function psi is this, then expectation value of x in the limit is. So we are given with the wave function psi, we have to find expectation value of x. We know that expectation value of x gives us the position of that point about which the potential is symmetric. So for example, we know for 1D box 0 to L, if potential is 0 for 0 XL and infinite otherwise, for this box, if you calculate expectation value of x, it must be L by 2, because here the potential is symmetric about this point L by 2. Similarly, if you take a symmetric potential, that is for minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, here if you calculate expectation value of x, then here it will be 0. So here if you will check the normalization constant, that is square root under 2 by L. So the box length is L. So box length is L means either it is from 0 to L or from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, symmetric potential. Now if you will see the wave function, that is cos pi x by L, and we know cos wave function is possible only for this symmetric potential. We know for n equals to 1, 3, 5, the wave function is square root under 2 by L cos n pi x by L. So by looking at the wave function, we can say that the given potential will be the symmetric potential. So according to this, here the expectation value of x must be 0. But let us calculate that analytically. We know expectation value of x is given by minus L by 2 to L by 2 psi star x psi dx divided by minus infinity to plus infinity psi star psi dx. For normalized wave function, this will be 1. So expectation value of x is equals to minus L by 2 to plus L by 2 psi star x psi dx. So this is psi and psi star will be plus epsilon iat by h naught. Now equal to minus L by 2 to plus L by 2 square root under 2 by L 2 by L 2 by L x cos square pi x by L dx. Now we cannot calculate the integration of cos square, so let us express in cos form. So we know cos 2 theta equals to 2 cos square theta minus 1. So cos square pi x by L will be 1 plus cos 2 pi x by L whole divided by 2. Here you can also check that as cos square is even function, x is odd function, so all total it is a odd function, and we are calculating from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, so it must be 0. But let us calculate. So expectation value of x is 1 by L minus L by 2 to plus L by 2 x plus x cos 2 by x by L dx. Using by parts here, we can write x L by 2 pi sin 2 pi x by L minus integration derivative dx by a dx 1. Here it will be L by 2 pi sin 2 pi x by L dx minus L by 2 plus L by 2. Now using the limit, you can find that expectation value of x is equals to 0. So your correct option is option 2. Question number 48. Which statistics will be applied to deuterons and alpha particles? We know deuterons, which are nucleus of deuterium, are bosons, and alpha particles are also bosons. So deuterons and alpha particles will follow Bose-Einstein statistics. So your correct option is option 1. Question number 49. The form factor of a half-wave rectifier is? We know form factor is defined as ratio of RMS value to average value or DC value. For half-wave rectifier, we know IRMS is I naught by 2 and I average is I naught by pi. So form factor equals to pi by 2, or it is equal to 1.57. So your correct option is option 1. Similarly, you should remember for full wave rectifier, the form factor is pi by 2 root 2. Question number 50. Which of the following phenomenon can be explained by quantum mechanical tunneling through the barrier? We know alpha decay can be explained by quantum mechanical tunneling through the barrier. So your correct option is option 1. Question number 51. The phase shift between input and output voltages of common emitter amplifier. We know for common emitter amplifier, the phase shift between input and output voltage is 180 degree. So your correct option is option 3. Similarly, you should remember for common base and common collector, the phase shift between input and output voltage is 0 degree. Question number 52. Let A and B be two distinct three-dimensional vectors. The component of B that is perpendicular to A is given by. A and B are any two vectors. We have to find component of B that is perpendicular to A vector. For simplicity, let us consider that A and B vectors are lie in a xy plane. A vector is along I cap direction and B vector is making an angle theta with A vector. So B vector will be having two components, that is a component parallel to A vector, that will be B cos theta, and a component perpendicular to A vector, that is B sin theta. So we have to find here the component of B that is perpendicular to A vector, so that will be B sin theta. But you can check option here. We have to express this perpendicular component in vector form. So we have to express B sin theta j cap. Now we know only from cross product of A and B we can found this sin theta. So we know A cross B. Here A vector you can think of like A I cap, and B vector is B cos theta I cap plus B sin theta j cap. So A cross B will be AB sin theta k cap. Now A cross B will be A square B sin theta minus j cap. So from here we can write A cross B cross A will be equals to A square B sin theta j cap. So from here B sin theta j cap will be A cross B cross A by A square. So your correct option is option 1. Similarly, for component of B parallel to A vector will be B cos theta, and if we try to express this component in vector form, that will be B cos theta I cap. So and we know this cos theta can be found only through dot product. So A dot B will be AB cos theta. Now A dot B A vector will be AB cos theta A vector, or this can be written as AB cos theta. A vector is A I cap, so A I cap. So this is A square B cos theta I cap. So this is the parallel component of B, the component of B that is parallel to A vector. So from here B cos theta I cap, that is A dot B A vector by A square. Question number 53. A particle of mass m1 moving with velocity u1 collides elastically with another particle of mass m2 at rest. After collision, the two particles moves with equal speeds in opposite direction. The two masses are related as. Here we are given with this situation before collision and after collision. After collision, both the particles are moving with equal speed. So is the force in this system is only gravitational force, and there is no non-conservative force. So we can use here the conservation of momentum and conservation of total energy to find the relation between the mass m1 and m2. Conservation of energy, initial energy, final energy. Initial means before collision, final after collision. So total energy before collision, second particle is at rest, so half m1 u1 square equals to final energy after collision, half m1 v square plus half m2 v square, because they are traveling with equal speed. So it is equals to m1 u1 square equals to m1 plus m2 v square, or this is equals to u1 square equals to 1 plus m2 by m1 v square. From conservation of momentum, P initial mean before collision, P final after collision. So M1 U1 equals to, see here, after collision the particles are moving in opposite direction. So if you are taking U1 direction to be positive, then here V2 will be positive but V1 will be negative. Okay, so final momentum after collision M2 V2 minus M1 V1, but here V1 and V2 are equal, so we can write M1 U1 equals to M2 minus M1 V, or from here E1 equals to M2 by M1 minus 1 into it V. Now using the equation 2 in this equation 1, you can find the relation between M1 and M2. Okay, so using this we will find this. Now M2 by M1 1 minus 3 this, so from here M2 by M1 will be 0, or this M2 by M1 minus 3 will be 0. So if we take M2 by M1 minus 3 equals to 0, so from there M2 equals to 3 times of M1. So your correct option is option 3. Question number 54. The Fermi level of an intrinsic semiconductor is P at the center of the band gap. The probability of occupation of the highest electron state in valence band at room temperature will be. From Fermi Dirac distribution function, we know the probability of finding an electron in an energy level E is given by 1 by 1 plus exponential E minus EF by kVT. Here T is at room temperature, so not equal to 0, and energy E will be equals to EF, because we have to find the probability for the highest electron state, that is E equals to EF. So this will be 1 over 1 plus exponential 0, that is 1 by 1 plus 1, that is half. So your correct option is option 3. Question number 55. The orders observed by a grating having 4000 lines per centimeter when illuminated normally by visible light of wavelength range 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. For grating, we have d sine theta equals to n lambda, where small d is the distance between slits and n is the order of the grating, and we have d equals to 1 by n. N is the grating constant or number of lines per unit length for the grating. So for calculating maximum order, we can put sine theta equals to 1. So we have 1 by n equals to n lambda. So from here, order of grating small n equals to 1 by n times lambda. Now using the value of capital N and wavelength, we can find the value of small n. So for lambda equals to 400 nanometer, small n will be this, and this is equals to 6.25. For integer, we can take it to be 6. Similarly, for lambda equals to 700 nanometer equals to 3.57. Now from option, your correct option will be option 4. Question number 56. Which of the following is Dirichlet condition? From Dirichlet condition, we can see that the option 1 is your correct option, that the function must have finite number of maxima and minima in the interval. So your correct option is option 1. Question number 57. A scalar potential field is given by V. The force on a 4 coulomb charge placed at origin will be. We know electric force on a charge Q is given by Q times E. So we have to find the expression of electric field at origin. We are given with this potential, so electric field E will be minus grad V. Here gradient of potential will be I cap minus 6 minus 12 y square plus j cap 8 minus 24 xy plus 7 z square minus 10 y plus k cap 14 y z. So electric field at origin will be, that is at 0 0 0 will be minus times I cap minus 6 plus j cap 8, or this is equals to 6 I cap plus 8 j cap. So magnitude of electric field is equals to square root under 6 square plus 8 square, that is equals to 10. Now magnitude of force on charge q, that is 4 coulomb, is 4 times 10, that is equal to 14 Newton. Your correct option is option 2. Question number 58. The relaxation time of a damped harmonic oscillator is 50 seconds. The time in which the energy of the oscillator falls to 1 by E times its initial value will be. For damped harmonic oscillator, we know the time taken for the energy falls to 1 by E time of its initial value is also same as the relaxation time. So here the time will be 50 seconds. So your correct option is option 1. Question number 59. The electric field associated with an electromagnetic wave propagating in free space is given as this. The average energy carried by the wave is. Look here, maybe some printing mistake. Like in the first part, it is kz minus omega t. So from here we can say that the electromagnetic wave is propagating in plus z direction, and in the second part you can see it is kz plus omega t. So from here we can say the electromagnetic wave is propagating in minus z direction, but a single wave cannot propagate in two directions. Okay, so maybe some printing mistake. Similarly here I cap. Okay, but let us discuss about this average energy density for an electromagnetic wave. We know for an electromagnetic wave, the average energy density is given by half epsilon naught E naught square amplitude of electric field. In terms of magnetic field, it is B naught square by 2 mu naught. Average energy density, symbol small u. Similarly, you should remember the relation between the intensity of the electromagnetic wave in the energy density, and the intensity related to average energy density is U times C. That is, you can write half epsilon naught E naught square times C. Question number 60. Stress-strain relationship for Newtonian fluid is. We know for a Newtonian fluid, the stress-strain relationship is linear. So your correct option is option 3. So in this video we have completed 15 questions. We will continue in the next video. Thanks for watching. All the best for your exam. Thank you.